All right, we're doing another little food break here. We had a bit of a snack earlier, but now we got a meal. Without specifying the name of the restaurant, this was one of Scoot's favorite places, and I had some unfinished business with this place anyway because I wanted to try one of the tacos that I had never gotten to try
There's a
before.
dip of some sort here. I don't know if
That's
it's yours.
salsa. If anybody
Okay.
wants
Would
it,
you like
actually,
it?
I think.
No. We got. Let's see what I got here. Just gonna adjust my webcam. Burp, 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 burp.
Oh, the mics are on, yeah?
The mics are on.
Okay. Just want to know so I know how close to the microphone
I
I should
mean,
be eating.
when the mukbang is happening, you want to eat as close as possible.
Is that right?
Everybody loves it. Everybody loves it.
So we got like a sriracha chicken thing going on here with some cilantro and carrots. We got some kind of beef thing going on here, which Scoot loved. Maybe I should look up the whole thing. And then we got like a tuna, like kind of wakame seaweed salad thing going on there, which I've had before and is really good. The only one that I haven't had is the one that Scoot really liked. So I'm just going to confirm what that was on the food app. Have a good comprehension. What was it? And then you, Gael, got a burrito.
That I did.
Yeah, here we go. Chorizo. It's got crispy shallots, scallions, and some chipotle crema. And fried poblanos, which I don't know what those are. It's very wet. It's dripping out. It's pretty good. I would say the other two in mine I like better, but I like that crunch. Never had a bad taco from here, so. Yum, yum, yum. Delish. Have you had every taco from here? Because now I have.
Maybe almost everyone.
There's two like vegan vegetarian ones, so.
I have not had those two.
Scoot barfed at the idea of having something without meat on it.
Of course, it's the correct response.
All right, we're going for the sriracha chicken one here.
Yeah, I mean we're both mountainous snowcats. We're gonna eat meat. That's how it works. Only difference is I might die trying to get the food. You know, the amount of times people send me the videos of snow leopards like jumping on an ibex and falling off a cliff as if I want to see that. Like I get it all the time.
They're very clumsy creatures.
I mean, high risk, high reward. That's how
That's
it
true.
is.
You get thrill of the kill while you're at
Because
it.
they're
too.
not really that big, like
That's
as
right,
far
they're
as like
smaller.
body mass, and so they're taking down like these huge, mountain goats or ibex or whatever. It's like there's a good chance you're falling off that mountain.
Good tail also on a snow leopard. That's the really important part, at least for Scoot.
That's why I like them, because I'm a size queen and
Yeah.
they're like the biggest tail. They are 80% tail.
They're thick.
Thick boys. And 0% brain. Correct.
Yeah, I love what's going on in this sriracha chicken thing.
Yeah.
It's very like Vietnamese kind of inspired. Got a lot of cilantro, some carrots and cabbage and
Yeah, this is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
very good sizable tacos as well.
Mm-hmm.
I have yet to have their burritos. Maybe I'll try that next time.
Yeah. Do you want to try this?
I could have a bite. I'm kind of curious. Thank you.
I actually think it's really good. It's surprisingly.
This is the Gael's burrito here. It looks really good.
Right?
That's great. Yeah. That's
Would you like to try it, Drew?
It's
There's
like
an
different than I
uneaten
was
piece
expecting.
Or an untouched piece here.
I'm
if you-
okay.
Yeah,
I'm good.
you're good.
I think I've had them before.
Good stuff.
There's one sort of near where I work,
Mhm.
and so I could go
You
there
get a chance?
sometimes. For an unnamed person that we know.
Mhm.
You work as a stripper.
I work as a stripper
For Santa Claus.
for Santa Claus.
He's very demanding,
He is
from my experience.
Yeah.
He keeps yelling about hoes.
abusive.
Keeps asking for prostitutes. He goes ho ho ho.
That's what I said.
That's elaborating. I was developing your joke a little bit.
All right. Mine was more subtle.
Mine was more explicit.
I know. So this one's got tuna and seaweed salad.
I like tuna.
Yeah, you wouldn't think, because it's not like battered or anything.
Mm.
Did you want a bite?
No, I'm good right now. Thank you.
So I'm about to kill this.
Going to bed. Wish you all the best. May you all kiss men in Scoot's honor.
Thank you, napkin. I love that I can get a taco, but it has the vibes of like sushi.
Yeah. And that's what's cool about being in Vancouver, is that they make so many like interesting things, and you just have to find the places.
Yeah, a lot of great food in Vancouver.
Yeah.
All the major cities in Canada have really great food. Vancouver, Toronto, and Montreal. All in their own.
Honestly,
different
for the price
ways,
of
but-
living, I fucking hope so.
I've
If we had bad food here, I'd actually be so upset.
never been. I haven't explored a lot of non-BC Canada. I've been to Nova Scotia once
Yep.
for a wedding that I was forced to go to, and it was small town.
Oh man.
So there was like nothing to do. There was no good food. They had just gotten a Tim Hortons.
Oh wow.
So everybody in the town was like there 24/7. Yeah.
Damn. And where else have you been?
That's funny.
Like more so in the US.
Yep.
I think we've wrestled in New York, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Washington, Oregon, and No, we haven't wrestled in California, but we've been to wrestling in California.
Nice. That's sick.
And then we went to wrestled in Tennessee because our friend lives there, and Scott and I went to a Nashville Predators game, but only to meet the mascot. Well, I mean, I love hockey, and I would
Yeah.
go for hockey,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
because have you ever seen the mascot?
No, I don't think so.
His name's Nash, but spelled Gnash.
Okay.
Because he's a saber-tooth tiger
Nice.
or a saber-tooth cat.
Sure.
Um,
So we're big cat enjoyers here.
As you should be.
I think if somebody walks into my room, they know I'm a
That's
big
pretty good.
cat enjoyer.
You're a big cat enjoyer, yeah. I would
Yeah.
say so.
The decor.
But yeah, so we got there late and we bought tickets like day of, and then we spent the first 20 minutes we were there just wandering the arena. We're like, he's got to be somewhere, and we couldn't find him. We go back to where our seats are, pretty much, like maybe the section over, and he was just standing there, and we were like, oh my god, and we got a picture with him
Hell
right
yeah.
away.
That's
So,
sick.
Yeah. Nashville's a fun place. Like, it's a really cool place. It also has amazing food and just like a good atmosphere and stuff. As long as you don't mind country music, which I don't like country music. So
Fair enough.
yeah, Scott wrestled in the UK and in Australia.
What the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
You went around.
He probably told me at one
Yeah,
point.
maybe, yeah. But yeah, we have friends that
It's
live in
so
the UK, and they were running all their own like backyard wrestling shows there. So Scott and Dan and Chewy, a couple of our friends went, and then there are Australian wrestlers who, like, I mean, Scott was like a big deal in the backyard wrestling community, like early on, or like in the early
That's what I've been
2000s. He
learning.
was like he was the equivalent of being like a Hulk Hogan or a John Cena, but in the backyard community. Like
Yeah.
everybody knew his
The
name.
niche thing.
They all knew he was good, and these kids in Australia were running like a big show, and they paid for him to go because they wanted him to be there so bad. And
That's great.
There's two really funny things about Scott being there. Is so he stayed at our friend Rusty's house. I don't know if Rusty's his real name, but Rusty. And because we love Japanese wrestling, and the night after he had gotten there was like a big Japanese wrestling show that had happened. So he got up, whatever the time difference is, maybe not that much because it's like maybe a time zone over. But he gets up before everybody else in the house is awake, and he downloads the entire show to watch. But he didn't realize that like in Australia, it's not the same as here, where you have like a bandwidth for the whole month.
Oh no.
You pay for like you get
Australian
this
internet
is how much
shit.
you can use on the month, and that's it. And Scott used all of it to download that wrestling show for their entire month's worth of internet.
That's funny.
And he didn't know that.
I didn't know that.
And then when everybody else got up and Scott was watching wrestling, like the internet wouldn't work because they had used it all up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because
it
was
might be different now. I don't know.
yeah,
but
that was like 2007.
Australians have like notably terrible internet compared to everyone
Yeah.
else.
and it
Somehow
wasn't-
worse than Canada.
And it wasn't like big city, like it wasn't
Yeah,
like
yeah.
Melbourne or Sydney. It was like a little outside Melbourne. It was outside of one of the bigger cities, but like he didn't know that, so he blew through their internet.
That's
and
crazy.
I apologized and
Yeah,
offered
yeah.
to pay for it, and they were like, "It's fine, whatever." But then also didn't realize that because it was winter here, so it's summer there, and you don't think that they were on water restrictions, and he had
Oh,
like a
shit.
30-minute shower. At not realizing that, and then it kind of meant like, oh well, like now not everybody gets to shower.
You know,
You know?
that's on them if they're not gonna explain things to people that might not know.
True.
Is it though? Because
kinda
you don't
is.
because you don't know what someone else doesn't know. Like if we had somebody come in from Australia, for example, or from I don't know, Poland, right? And
If
they're
there was
fresh
a
off the
water
boat.
restriction, I would consider that to be pretty unique, and I would let people know
Right.
who are visiting.
Sure. I mean, yeah. I mean, maybe it's again. You just don't think about it because you're like, yeah, it's just.
But again, you don't know what they don't know.
It's true.
So they
It's
could
true.
they could maybe have their shoes on in the house and just walk around without you saying anything. And you'd have
Yep.
to tell them to take their shoes off.
Yep.
Like, oh, sorry, I tracked mud everywhere, for example, or some other.
Yeah, I would
Or
say
something like that, yeah.
I don't
Cultural-
agree. Yeah, I mean that one. I'm sure there are Americans that wouldn't understand that you don't take your shoes off,
Yeah.
Mm.
or that you should take your shoes off. But I would say that would be more on them as like a courteous thing. Whereas
Yeah.
like you don't understand that a water restriction is necessarily even like a factor or potential.
Or maybe you tell them to put something in the microwave because they want to heat it up, and then they accidentally don't like them to use the microwave, so they put like a fork in it. Because Polish people don't have microwaves.
Really.
If you've never used a microwave before, you would ask how to use a microwave.
Not a very confident. Some people are really confident.
Yeah.
Some people I've seen, like they don't know how to do anything, but they'll do it with the confidence of a Frenchman speaking English the first time.
Right.
I'm not one of those people.
Yeah, but they could be, you could meet those people. They could
They're
come to your
hiding
house.
among us.
They're among us. He is hiding. He is among us. That Sauron thing. That's so bad.
That was delicious.
How do you feel? Real quick, Drew. How do you feel about Lord of the Rings?
Love it.
Retro.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I read the first 2 books. I never read the 3rd book, but I love the movies and the lore. And
Nice.
everything.
That's awesome.
I'm on your team.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm glad to hear that. It feels like that, and you got the dog thing off the rip. I think we have more in common than Scoot is let on. It's funny. There's a slightly
The inner dog.
I have a slightly different image of you in my mind from Scoot's description than your actual persona.
He was trying to keep me to himself. That's why.
Yeah, I think he very
Didn't
much
want- didn't
was.
wanna share.
Greedy.
I'm now curious what kind of image you have
Greedy.
of me and how that's been. I hope shattered.
Shatnered.
I don't know what perception he gave me, but I feel like every time I don't think he ever tried to
Describe me.
no, not really, but I met
He
you a few
avoided the
times,
subject.
right? But I don't think he ever really said anything, but yeah, I think he was just trying to make it seem like I was like him, and I was like, we're not that similar, man.
Yeah, totally fair. Yeah.
I like pickles and sour cream, unlike you,
Do you like fish?
some,
That's,
not a lot, but
yeah,
some.
well,
Salmon,
Salmon,
Tuna?
like salmon, tuna,
cod,
cod,
for chips. There.
Halibut.
That's the halibut. Pretty
Yeah.
good. What don't you like?
stuff that grows on the bottom of the ocean, like scallops and oysters and
It's like shellfish.
Yeah, I don't like any
Not a
of
big
that. I mean,
shellfish.
that was like Scoot's exception.
well, yeah,
He liked
and
he liked those things.
yeah, any chance he could get to eat crab or lobster, he would, because that was fancy.
It was about the status more than
It's
anything.
the power. It's about the power of having the lobster
Hey
and.
Adam, I'm really
crab.
sorry about Scoop. It's sad he is gone.
Yes, I
but
do
not
know the brownie
forgotten.
story. I'd been told
Also,
it several
thank you
times
for being
over the
one
course
of
of
my
however
first
long it
subs.
happened.
Seeing your profile pic in my subscriber list really made my day.
Thank you, Shane McGillicuddy. I appreciate it.
And do you know what vor is?
I know it for.
Of course.
It's
Who
gross.
doesn't?
I'm just
not
curious.
into
I'm just
it.
curious how furry. I'm really getting. I'm putting a beat on you. I'm really placing you.
No, that, even though I'm
You're pretty well versed.
I'm an outsider.
Yeah.
I still learn everything.
I think you're
So.
you're pretty well versed.
Yeah. I'm not into vor. So no. No vor.
Mm-hmm.
Cock
You've
vor,
never.
Well, maybe.
Oh,
but no,
okay.
no. That's even worse. That's even worse.
Sandy
I was
Cheeks
surprised. I was like, oh,
cockvore.
okay, that's unexpected.
That's
the
one of
people-
the
Yeah.
funny subreddits that exists.
Which is
Sandy Cheeks cockvore from SpongeBob. It's a subreddit. It's probably just because one person's really into it and has enough money
Yeah.
to commission a lot of things, where it's like the only reason why you see a lot of it is not because a lot of people are into it, but because it's just one person's specific thing, and they have enough money for many commissions.
one of my favorite cockvore tropes, and I don't get to say this sentence very often.
That's a funny way to start a sentence.
Is that once someone gets cockvored, generally they end up in the balls where they turn into cum, which is not how any of it works. I
But
think
it's how
that's-
they'd like it to work.
it's
That's
like-
how they'd like for it to work.
That's what you get when you
That's
get
what you
into,
get.
get into that sphere, that dimension.
Yeah.
of paraphilia.
Some people like to be vored but not digested.
Some people,
It's like
Yeah.
that's not how it works.
I know people. I know someone who likes to be bored and then thrown back out or thrown
Yeah.
back up, I should say.
Yeah.
It's lovely. It's a lovely.
It's a lovely thing. Does, does
Don't do it.
tail star mean butthole?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
You know,
tail
There we
star.
go.
For the Friday show that we had
Yeah.
this past week, we had both actually just gotten brand new, they're called singlets.
Okay.
And when I was
Wow.
getting mine made, I specifically asked our gear maker who lives in Washington, I'm like, hey, do you mind just like putting a little butthole underneath it? Because I had big plans for it. Which was he was gonna
Big plans.
He has a 3D printer, and he was gonna print out this little rubber hook thing that I could put in the tail. So mid match, I could attach fishing line to it, so that I could go in the corner with my butt up and pull the tail over my head, and then spray something through my legs, so it looked like I was scenting them.
That's very elaborate.
It was, but I've been
that's-
thinking about it for years, and I finally asked him to do it. And so we get there, and he gives me my singlet, and I look, and I showed Kelly. I was like, butthole. And we all had a good chuckle. And Scott was like, I wish I had asked for a butthole. And Jordan's like, oh, don't worry, I gave you a butthole. And then he showed Scott was like, oh, beautiful. But he wasn't gonna do the same thing as I did. But
Yeah.
yeah,
he just wanted
singlets
a
have-
butthole.
They have these little star buttholes under the tail. It's incredible.
It's a tail star.
It's incredible. I'm not grossed out by it. It was my idea.
Scott is grossed out by the word tail star. He hates the word tail star. He thinks it's disgusting.
It's
But
not
I think it's
personal.
fun. Furries have this way of making everything fun.
It is
Like,
fun.
oh, let's yiff. It's like, ooh, that's so cute.
We have our own lingo.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I would just probably refer to it as a beehole, but
You know, like there,
a beehole.
the non-furry terms for that particular. I just say butthole
For that
at this point. I say butthole.
Orifice, if you will.
There's no like. I think butthole sounds the
I think
cleanest. to
bussy.
me. Bussy does not sound the cleanest.
I think-
Butthole sounds the cleanest to me.
Really?
I don't know
I
why.
think bussy sounds cleaner for me.
Yeah.
No. Have you been around pussies? Because they're not the same
Because they
thing.
stink.
Not gonna
They're
lie
not
to
the
you.
same thing.
Not gonna lie to you. Not really.
No. Yeah. I'm fine with beeholes or, well, we used to call it a boy box.
Oh, fun.
Was what we
Mm.
jokingly used to call it. But
I like that. Those are all great.
Matchbox 20.
with bad Rob Thomas, good Rob Thomas. I don't know.
That was a 8 out of 10 meal. Thank you, Scoot, for introducing me to this taco place. It was delicious. The first time I had it, I was so that was the night after I did mushrooms and drinking.
Yeah.
And I was so hungry. Remember, I was like sick.
Like with your no, not with your cousin or whatever.
It was with my cousin.
No, it was. It was that story.
Yeah.
And then you had it after, and it was,
I had it after. I was like, this tastes so good, but I need to go to bed.
Yeah.
And I had to put it in the fridge for later. I'm like, there's nothing wrong with the food, but I
Yeah, no, I feel that.
awful.
That's rough.
Yeah, that was recent. And that was the first time I had it, so delicious. Yeah, I'm down to continue some Jackbox if
Sure.
everybody's down. Cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might sit one out while I eat slower because I
Sure.
kind of feel like eating a little bit
Sure.
slower and just taking it easy. So I'll maybe sit one out. And then
I'm a
play
fast
after.
eater. You know me.
I can eat fast, but I also like.
I know
eating
you
slow.
could, but I
So I ate the first half
traditionally
fast, and now I'm gonna eat the second half slow.
I see more value in scarfing it down.
I see more
Then-
value in taking your time. It's interesting. We have different value systems.
I taste it just the same.
I think I probably do.
I can
too.
burp some up. Blech. It's still there, you know.
As much as I miss Scoot, I think Drew and Gail would be a great duo for Adam and Pals.
Duo.
I'll work on my banter and my subtle
Your
You
racism.
need
bants.
more slurs.
Yeah.
Not enough slurs for that chair yet. but
Scoot knew
we'll get
every
there.
slur.
He kind of did in every in every language. I would say. I think we had an I can't remember now. I was gonna say we had like an Arabic or Middle East, and then he could tell the Arabic slurs. I'd be like, he's like, that's a slur. I'm like, yeah.
Did his research.
He really was. He's
Sonic's-
thorough.
Sonic says
very-
I should chew my food.
A small amount
I'm
of
gonna show off
potatoes
this
only.
thing that I got.
Oh yes, please show this off.
I
we have to look at this. This is
I
unhinged.
bought a device where if I'm choking, I can suction out of my esophagus.
Because you can't Heimlich maneuver yourself,
'Cause
right?
well,
Famously.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like
So-
I know. I feel like I could Heimlich maneuver myself.
Okay, but you don't want
that's
to take
not
that
a
chance.
surefire. So I bought. It literally just like there's
It-
like a baby attachment if like an infant's choking. I'm like, I should probably get one of these because probably I'll choke on my food at some point.
I just want to say, if I'm ever choking on my food around you, I would like you to do the Heimlich maneuver on
Oh,
me.
before getting.
Before
But,
that,
but then we can't say that we did it.
No, I'm just saying right now.
So once you're
if I'm
unconscious, I can
choking
use
on
it.
food in
If
front
you're
of you,
unconscious, I can use it.
if you couldn't get it out, you can use that as a
Because
secondary.
I would actually trust this more than the Heimlich. It's a suction.
Yeah, no, I would still like you to try the Heimlich first, and then if it doesn't work, you can have that on hand for a second. You can it could be like 5 seconds. It'd be like, oh, it didn't work, and then you could put the thing in my face. Like I don't.
It's called a life vac. If anybody wants.
you're supposed to throw yourself over the back of your chair and gut yourself.
Oh, that's good. I like that. Just like fall on the
Yeah, I've
back
heard
of your
that.
chair.
Yeah.
I like that.
Apparently it works.
Yeah.
Would you own that device under any circumstances?
I saw it over here earlier.
Yeah.
and
You were confused.
I didn't want to ask any questions because I thought maybe it was like a gay thing I wasn't aware of, and I didn't want to like ask questions because also I don't want to be intrusive on people's lives.
Oh,
but
I
was
would
like,
love you to be
I
intrusive.
wonder what that's for, and then now I know.
And now you know.
Yep.
You
it's
dodged
right
the
there,
question,
and
by the way.
It's got a good
Oh.
spot.
Would you own that? Would you own that
Um,
device?
I don't know.
I think if the price point was lower, more people should.
Oh, actually,
Probably.
so how? Actually, I'll rephrase the question. How much would you pay for that?
$60.
Whoa, that's a lot.
It's good
That's-
quality, right? Like
Is it?
it's-
I don't know.
Yeah, it looks good quality.
How much? Can I ask how much you paid for that?
It was like $120,
Oh,
which I know it hurt.
Double.
If it was cheaper, I would have bought two, so I could have one in the kitchen.
You can use it on me if I choke. At 120, I'll take that chance.
I know
But then if it doesn't work, you have to use the Heimlich. I don't care.
it hurt, but I have the mindset of like I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not.
So
Because
did
if I ever choked to death, and it was because I didn't have a life vac, the thought of thinking I could have bought one would be the worst way for me to go out.
So I don't want to rob Shay of this opportunity, but I'm going to.
Okay,
Have you had? Do you know who Mr. Hardwick is?
no,
Okay, I'll just end this here. When Shay comes back,
okay,
you guys can have this conversation.
all right. There we go.